The road stretched endlessly into the night, its dark asphalt gleaming under the dim glow of the headlights. David Parker had been driving for hours, fatigue setting in as he navigated the desolate stretch of Route 66. The eerie silence of the night was broken only by the occasional rustle of the wind and the soft hum of his car's engine. He checked the dashboard clock, 2:13 a.m. Too late to be on the road, yet too early to stop. Then he saw her. A lone figure stood by the roadside, illuminated by the flickering glow of a neon diner sign in the distance. She was young, no older than 20, with long flowing blonde hair and a pale, almost translucent complexion. She wore a simple white dress that billowed slightly in the wind. Her thumb was extended in the universal gesture of hitchhiking. David hesitated. Picking up strangers in the dead of night was against every rule of self-preservation. But something about her seemed different, innocent, almost helpless. Against his better judgment, he slowed down and rolled down the window. "Need a ride?" he called out. She nodded, stepping closer. Her blue eyes carried a distant, almost haunted look. "Yes, please. Just down the road a bit." David unlocked the passenger door and she slid in, her presence bringing an unexplainable chill to the air. He shivered but dismissed it, focusing instead on the road ahead. "What's your name?" he asked. "Lillian," she replied softly, barely above a whisper. Silence settled between them. David stole a glance at her. She sat perfectly still, hands folded neatly in her lap. Something about her seemed off. The air inside the car felt heavier, charged with an unspoken tension. "So where exactly am I dropping you off?" he asked after a while. She turned to him, her lips parting as if to answer, but no sound came out. Then she lifted a trembling hand and pointed ahead. David followed her gaze. In the distance, a lone house sat shrouded in darkness. It looked abandoned, its windows broken, the paint peeling. A faded sign swung from rusted chains. McAllister Residence. A deep unease settled over him. "You live there?" She didn't respond. Instead, she reached into the pocket of her dress and pulled out an old photograph, handing it to him. He hesitated before glancing at it and felt his breath hitch. The picture showed a family standing in front of the same house, a man and woman, their arms around a little girl with bright blue eyes and long blonde hair. The girl looked exactly like Lillian. A cold dread slithered down David's spine. "Lillian," he said slowly, gripping the wheel. "How old are you?" She finally turned to face him fully. Her expression remained blank, but her eyes, they held centuries of sorrow. "I died here," she whispered. David slammed the brakes, heart hammering in his chest. The car skidded to a halt, tires screeching against the pavement. He turned to his passenger seat, but it was empty. The door remained shut. No footprints marked the ground outside. And yet, the lingering scent of roses filled the car, an unnatural presence wrapping around him like a ghostly embrace. A movement caught his eye in the rearview mirror. He turned sharply and saw her standing outside the house, staring at him, expression unchanged. The headlights flickered. The temperature inside the car dropped further. Then, just as suddenly as she had appeared, she was gone. David sat frozen, the photograph trembling in his grip. His pulse pounded in his ears as he flipped it over, noticing faded handwriting on the back. Lillian McAllister, 1923 to 1941. He was still staring at the words when his phone buzzed violently on the dashboard. He picked it up, hands shaking. A new text message flashed on the screen. "Thank you for the ride." What do you think really happened that night? Was Lillian truly there, or just a figment of the road's dark history? Comment below and let us know your thoughts. And if you love chilling tales like this, don't forget to subscribe to Ghost Story 2.0 for more haunting stories that will keep you up at night.